Welcome, everyone. This is so exciting. Welcome to our latest live Mosaic Arts Online event. I am Tami Macala, the founder of Mosaic Arts Online, and I would like to welcome you all here today. Thank you for getting on wherever you are in the world. And most importantly, can you please say hi in our chat and tell us where you're from? We'd love to see where everyone is coming in from and getting to join us today. So today is a really special presentation, and I'm really thrilled to introduce two incredibly talented artists and entrepreneurs, Luca Barberini and Arianna Gallo. Now, before we begin our talk, if you're not familiar with Luca and Arianna, they live in Ravenna, Italy. And Jerry and I were fortunate enough to travel there this past fall and film 2 courses with Arianna. Many of you, I'm sure, already know and of Ariana and maybe even own her first course with us, the Direct Ravenna Method. And we were just here past November launching that course on our YouTube channel. And if you haven't seen it, it's in our archives and please go check it out. It's great. Today's going to be a little different. Instead of our typical live interview, we'll be sharing a filmed interview we did at Coco Mosaico in Luca's studio that you're seeing right now. I sat down with them to discuss topics relating to mosaic art, living and working in Ravenna, and what it's like to bring contemporary mosaic art to the forefront in a town that has 8 UNESCO sites, 7 of which have ancient mosaics from the 5th and 6th century AD. First, I'd like to introduce and welcome Luca Barberini and Arianna Gallo as they are wrapping up their day in Ravenna, and we are just getting started here in Santa Barbara. So thank you both for being here. It's great to be here with both of you. I know you have very busy schedules, so thank you for making this happen. And I know many people out there that have been or would like to go to Ravenna are very curious to know more about both of you. The way this is going to work today is we will play our interview, which is approximately 30 minutes, and then we'll open it up to questions and answers to both Luca and Arianna. So please add them in the chat, and Jerry will give them to me, and I will ask the 2 of them. After our Q&A, we have a very special announcement. We will be launching a new course that comes with a very nice bonus gift. So please make sure to stay until the end. And without further ado, I would love to introduce our good friends and the very talented Luca Barberini and Arianna Gallo.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. It's a pleasure with you.
It's so good to have you both here. Thank you so much for making this happen. I know you're both so busy. As you guys can see behind them is a lot of the work that both of them create in their contemporary work. If you don't follow Luca, he was going to share a little bit more about how his style of art is a little different than what we might call mosaic art. And you can see one of his larger commissions off behind Ariana's shoulder. But you guys, just thank you so much for being here. And we're going to get started with the interview, and then we'll definitely bring in some questions and answers and anything else you guys would love to add.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay, everyone, hang on one second while I get our interview ready.
Great. We are ready.
Here we go.
To become a good.
It is not live, but we are here in Ravenna, Italy at Coco Mosaico, and I would love to introduce to you Luca Barberini and Arianna Gallo, the owners of Coco Mosaico. And I am so excited to just sit here with them and have a little conversation about what it's like to be working artists, owning your own studio and doing everything they do here. And what you see behind me is a collection of both of their works. And if you're familiar with Luca's work, then you know he loves to do a storytelling style of his work. So I'm just going to ask them a few questions, and both of you, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is very exciting. So starting with you, Luca, what does contemporary mosaic art really mean to you, and what inspires you to create your work?
So I'm a storyteller, so I use the medium of mosaic to represent my ideas, my view of the world, and I try to send a message. So mosaics and mosaic are not only to see like the old and the ancient technique. Of course, I use the first ancient technique because I work directly on the cement, on the glue, like the ancient. But I completely change the shape of the pieces, and I don't care about the shape of the pieces. It's not the style, I mean, is not my focus. I don't care about
Andamento's not your thing.
It doesn't exist anymore.
And we love that.
And I don't know, it's contemporary because I'm doing that now.
Yeah.
And I'm an artist. I mean, it's my job.
Yep.
And I think that is enough to say, to explain why that is contemporary and why I use the mosaic.
And the inspiration can come from your dreams, or where do you get like the storytelling inspiration from?
So it depends by the theme that I want to talk about. When I the last 6-8 years, I try to talk about the environment and the influences of the human being in the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Sometimes can be more social, sometimes can be more focused on the problems of the environment. Of course, the human being is always in the middle of the story. At the last, I'm working on a new project where I try to discover the dream.
Yeah.
So it's not, maybe the environment can be also inside, but it's more can be at the first time can be more easy representation. I mean, not so dark, but is is an experiment because I'm working now.
Yes. Yes, you are. And while we are here, they are about to launch the Biennale Ravenna Mosaic Festival, correct?
Right.
And so we won't be able to see it in person, but we're very excited to be here right before their exhibition. And Luca does have a special exhibition that will be happening. But Ariana, tell us where your contemporary work comes from, because you are so trained in the traditional mosaics.
Yes, I am also a mosaic restorer, but of course in the last 18 years I worked mostly as a mosaic artist. And mosaic for me, it's a media to express yourself. So you can express yourself with painting, sculpture. If you choose to express yourself with mosaic nowadays, as a contemporary artist, you need to be brave.
Yes.
And, you need a lot of courage, because in this era, nowadays, where everything is fast, everything is social media, and so mosaic is really something that takes time, and it needs also to be you need to study a lot to become a good mosaic artist. I think.
Yes.
And to experiment a lot with things that and finding your own way.
That's right.
To do mosaic.
Yes.
And so I think it's something that's important, deep.
Well, and both of you do have the training and then able to take that training and turn it into your own voice and your own expression. It's not just doing, replicas, and it's not just making, anything abstract. There is so much storytelling in both of your works. And so, but back up a little bit. What makes Ravenna such a special place for mosaic art? And you can both share a little bit about why.
Yeah, probably it's because our treasure is in the history. Only in the city we have 8 monuments from UNESCO, and they are really treasure of the culture from the Byzantine period, the old and the Roman too. Floor and wall mosaics in the villas or in the basilicas. Mosaics still here from the 5th and 6th century. This is why we are still continuing, probably. We were really...
we have a long tradition.
We have a long tradition. So
yeah, it's...
For us, it was something that was always here.
Yeah.
And I never did seriously restoration, for example, because I don't care about the old mosaics, working on the old mosaics. I'm always try to express myself by maybe photographs or painting and mosaics too. Yeah, that is why we still use mosaic.
No, it's inspiration everywhere, and maybe you can talk a little bit about it because you are you have an education in restoration, and a little bit about how they were made back in the 5th and 6th century. One piece at a time on their backs, and you were telling me earlier about the years that were spent. So can you share a little bit about how that happened? Because many people may never get to Ravenna, and it is overwhelming to walk into those buildings and see them.
Sure. So the effect that you have when you come inside a Ravenna church, and for example, we can say Basilica di San Vitale, for example, it's something breathtaking because the mosaics are very precious, even the material, because it's smalty and gold. And if you think that in the past there was a huge staff of artists, mosaic artists, working directly there in the churches, is something unbelievable. Because one decoration like San Vitale, it took more or less 20-25 years to do it.
Yeah.
And they used to work directly on scaffoldings. Up there in the ceiling or in the apse, in the walls, and there were people that just cut all the day, every day for years, and there were mosaic masters that were doing the most precious, most important part of the designs, and there were other mosaic artists that, of course, making mosaic themselves. And in that period in Ravenna, there were also furnaces, glass furnaces.
Making the smalty, just making the glass.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. And there was also another special artist that was the painter, Pictor Imaginarius. This artist used to speak directly with the client, and the client could be the priest, could be the
emperor.
Yes, exactly. And then together, of course, following the desire of the emperor, this Pictor Imaginarius used to draw the entire composition for the church.
Yes. And
there was also another important figure, another artist, a painter as well, that was the Pictor Parietarius. That is the one who transferred the drawing from the paper to the walls and the ceilings. Mosaics. Under the mosaics, you can see sinopia. Do you know what the sinopia is?
No.
Sinopia, like for frescoes in the ancient buildings, you have a kind of sketch under, made on frescoes.
Okay. I would wondered about that. So that's where the design
exactly.
is.
So there were all the preparation of the drawing preparation underneath, and then the mosaic on the top.
Well, and so many people come to study portrait, you know, in mosaic art for even the ancient ones. And these people were doing it, you know, and you look at those mosaics and you're just like in awe that we're continuing a tradition that is so old and not doing it very differently, since your course is all about how they actually did it, a lot of it back in those days. So maybe both you can talk about like the permanence of mosaic. So if that was 5th and 6th century, most of it is still up there. But what happens if it is going to start to fall apart, or you know, are they supposed to be there another thousands of years?
This is the work of the restoration team. When that monuments are so important, so they are continuously watched. So there are special team every month check it if everything is good or not. I don't know in how many years, how many 100 years. Usually they remove the original mosaics from the sites to put in the museum, or to put on the new base to be conserved in the future.
Interesting.
And so maybe sometimes they put again in the original sites, but the background is completely removed and changed with new materials, durable in the years. And that is interesting, because sometimes I think about our mosaics in the next 1,000
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
And you know, if the mosaics that are on the public building, like basilicas or public art, maybe they still more visible and during more. Now we work, of course, in our studio we work also for installation, so floor and wall mosaic, but usually our private villa or maybe some hotels. So public building in these days is not easy to find big commissions.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. What is really quick? I want to get back to that, but really quickly, what is in a restore? So if we're looking at these mosaics, how much of it is really authentic. Original, authentic?
A lot.
It is.
Oh yes, sure, absolutely. And so these mosaics were restored many times during the centuries.
Right.
Because, you know, for example, we had a big earthquake around the 10th century, more or less, and so that period there were the first restorations there, but they were restored cyclically, more or less, and already always checked. Yeah. But what is what I like to say is that mosaics are like diamonds, more or less.
They live forever.
They can last forever. Of course, they are not exactly like diamonds. Diamond is more resistant. But, you know, our mosaics they are 1,500 years ago. Yeah. So it's a long period. Yeah. I'm sure that they are going to stay more than us.
For us, exactly. So on that note, back to what you're saying, so Coco Mosaico is a blip in the mosaic world, but you're making an impression, a very good impression, and I hope one of these gets buried in a time capsule, one of your pieces, because I want it to be opened in 1,000 years, and then it'll be like, you know, what was he thinking?
I already about an exhibition for the future, and I know also the name, and can be probably like 3000 after Christ, and I want to represent, like I'm a storyteller, so I want to represent a different scenario where the most important things happen in our history that we know, and I want to put these pieces. I want to do an exhibition, of course, and I want to sell it, but I have to add also with this piece of art boxes where you can conserve for all the
next
the
generation.
That's right.
Next generation too. And yeah, it's not something with blockchains, like something new, because I don't know if the computer is still alive in the next 200 or 300 years.
Right.
And I don't know what happened, no? But the mosaics can still. In
Well,
the future.
we're
So,
seeing that.
collectors by collectors, generation by generation, in the end, after 1000 years, they have to connect each other, because they have a piece of art where behind is all the extraction to do it after 1000 years, to do again the exhibition with the title 3000 after Christ.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's a brilliant idea.
That can be really cool. I want to do it maybe next year
I love it.
or next years.
Next year's, exactly. It's going to be a
Because also I have to
continuation.
think what is really the most important
Things to
things
tell.
to tell?
Yeah, no, exactly. And you don't know everything yet. So here's a really good question then. You guys are constantly thinking of new ways to have exhibitions and stuff, but you also own a working studio that has students come in, that have visitors and tourists come in, and you're really showing a lot of people different levels of how to create the mosaic art. So how does this whole balance work? And who wants to go first?
Okay.
Tell us, and then Ariana will.
We opened our studio 17 years ago, and we immediately understand that it was really important. Open our door. Don't be without secrets. We really like to share and have a big community.
It's important.
And in this way, we can touch different realities, like commissions works, courses. I found my way, and in the end, I decided to also take a part of the studio to be independent, because I can't work, for example, with tourists around. But the production of the studio followed by managed by Ariana, because she's the art director of the studio, and that can be she and our assistants can work, can continuously work on the mosaics, for example, on a commission work, and tourists can come inside. Like if you go in the restaurant and you can see the kitchen under the window.
Yep.
It sometimes can be pretty stressful, but maybe that is really rare. Usually also tourists are quiet. They are curious, some questions, and maybe more of them. They want to learn mosaics.
Exactly.
And so they come back to learn mosaics in a class, because Ariana and the assistants, they teach different schedules, like maybe 1 day of class or 5 days or 2 weeks. It depends.
Yeah.
And because we are open, so people are friendly with us. And we have a lot of students from all over the world.
Yeah, no, having been here for just a couple of weeks and seeing how open your door is and people getting to observe. And if I walked in off the street, you're right. It's like being able to see the chef working in the kitchen of a restaurant. And it's very special. And people are very lucky if they get that opportunity. And you have to still produce commissions. If Luca's back in his studio, you're producing commissions, you're hosting workshops. I mean, this is one of the busiest open working studios I've ever seen, and on a busy street in this town. I mean, it's amazing. Do you feel like you are continuing the Mosaic, word? We really want to find more Mosaic artists. So do you think that we're communicating by this studio more of that?
Yeah, definitely.
And
yes,
do you see people come in? I know they like to buy the art and then they want to learn as well.
Yes. Some people come here by chance. I mean, because we are in front of a UNESCO monument, and so by walking in the street, they just find us, and they come inside, and so. It's always a pleasure for us, because we opened our studio because we had a common passion. And so if you make your heart inside your job, it works very well. And so a lot of people come, and we have always a smile, some words to explain. Sometimes people ask, can you tell us how Mosaic works? Maybe we can't really in 10 minutes tell everything, but it happens very often that people decide to come back, like the year later, after, or 2 years after. And thanks to Ivana, our assistant, that she writes to everyone, we are in touch with a lot of people.
No, it's amazing. You guys do demonstrations for tours, just here for 20 minutes. And I mean, if this isn't the example here of continuing to educate people on mosaic art, I don't know what is. Like, I can't do that at my studio. So I am so grateful that you guys are here and able to do that on a busy street, across the street from a UNESCO site. And so I can't say enough to come to Ravenna and come visit Coco Mosaico. And if you want to learn, there is so much talent here. So is there anything else you'd want to add about the experience here and what you're doing?
I don't know. I can say that I want to say thank you also to Arianna, because she always helped me to go ahead and do my research, and that is because we share the same passion, and also we are a couple in life, of course. So we are married, and we have to decide also what kind of what I can do and what she can do, and I think we found a really good balances. That's it, I think. Yes.
Well, I'm grateful you're here. What else would you want to add?
I want to say that, yes, of course, I gave space to Luca, because Luca, I think, is a great artist, and I always say to him that I'm his #1 fan.
It's out in the world. I'm your #2 fan.
Because he's a storyteller, and before saying that he's a storyteller, I used to say that he's a kind of photographer, because with his mosaic he can find a moment, like you can do with your camera.
Yes.
And so, of course, it's quite tiring for me following a lot of things.
That happened because we decided to have. So, if I can say, all of the situation happen for not only because we are in Ravenna and because we have a lot of tourists, but I think that it's really important that we learn and the base from the same school.
You guys both have your education.
Yes, we have the same education, and that is really important, because at that time we can understand really well what.
Well, and that's what it is. If you have a foundation that is a really good education, then you can just become who you want to be from that. But it's important to, it's like scaffolding. You need it to have that base so that you can go up. And both of you have done that with your strengths. Yours is creating your storytelling now. Yours is the art that you still do create, you know, is in your course, the Contemporary Direct one, is incredible. And yet you're running the studio. You are the art director. You have people working for you. You guys have a beautiful working studio with such talented assistants. And you're creating these huge commissions. I mean, it's really incredible what you guys are keeping alive in the Mosaic community.
And this is a good balance, because like my work is not always it's not a salary. No, I don't have a salary every month.
Yes, that's right.
And so it's a compensation.
Yeah.
Mosaic, so Ariana can take different commissions, or sometimes not, but at the same time, to the other part, I'm me with if I sell some works, and usually I sell, and so it's a good business also.
Yes.
Because we are together. Maybe alone,
yes,
it wasn't possible. It's not possible.
I totally agree. You guys have such a good balance of totally two different strengths that come together and make one, you know, very unique, but in a great way sort of thing. And having a marriage, work-life balance is not easy.
No.
But if you work hard at it and you do recognize each other, it can be an incredible experience too.
Sometimes can be weird, because, you know, you can mix the contemporary art and the craft. And so some people, maybe with old mind, they don't want to see the craft and the contemporary art together. Maybe sometimes happen to some possible collectors. We stay at the phone for 30 minutes to spoke about what I represent, and just in the end they ask, like, sorry, please, can you explain me what media did you use? That make me happy, because that want to mean that my mosaics is really different.
Yeah, it's setting it.
But at the other side, when I say is I'm doing mosaic art, the collector say, okay. So for the old mind, that can be not so, and so we live together. When you cross to come to my studio, you have to cross the craft studio.
Sure.
And so for someone that can be strange, but the new contemporary art, if you look around, the hands work a lot. The works are made with hands, and so that is a good goal for us.
Well, and I love that, and I think there has to be more of your contemporary work that is coming out in using the mosaic materials, because I think there's, you know, just being here in Ravenna, you don't just see the old. There are studios that have some very contemporary work, and if we don't let that open up and be, then, you know, people are not going to be expressing themselves the way they need to be. So I love it. Is there anything else you guys would add?
I would like to thank also our assistants.
Oh, yeah.
So I spoke before about Ivana, that is the lady who stay in the
front. She's the front of the house.
Exactly. And then there are also Anita, my sister, and Melissa.
Yes, yes. They are both incredibly talented. Anita is trained from Spilimbergo, which is very special to have here. And here in Italy, mosaic art is a craft, but not in the same way it's called in the States. In Italy, it is a very respected art. It is a very respected craft, and it's considered more craftsmanship because you only can do the highest level of work here for it to be accepted, correct? And people in the States maybe see a craft as something that's a little less than. So it's important to define that word here as it's a work. It is your job every day to create the art that the Melissa and Anita and other assistants do on top of what both of you are doing as well.
Right.
So, well, I can't thank you both enough for sitting down and doing this.
Thank you too.
You guys are amazing here. You are keeping the mosaic art, vision alive, and with all your hard work. And you'll be seeing more of Luca's stuff as it comes out with your exhibition this year.
Yeah.
You will be only hearing more and more about Ariana from our courses that we have. And I just can't thank you guys enough.
Thank you too.
Thanks to you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
So that they don't think it's over.
And we're back. Thank you guys so much for sharing everything about the studio and about Ravenna. It's really, really, such a special, special place to be. And if you do have the chance to go to Ravenna, you need to go by and see Coco Mosaico right on Via Roma. It's just such a special place. And when Jerry and I went, I really did not expect to be as overwhelmed as I was seeing all of the monuments and the cathedrals. But it's pretty incredible, and what you two have brought to the mosaic world. And as we talked so much about the contemporary, Luca, what you're doing is really incredible. It's really just taking these materials and doing something so different and special with it. And now today we will be launching Ariana's contemporary course. But before we do that, we did have a couple questions come in. And if anyone else has any questions for Ariana or Luca or both, now is your chance to ask them. So the first question that came in is people are asking how they can study with Ariana and Luca. And Luca, do you teach? And you guys just figure out how you want to talk.
So it's really rare, but sometimes I love to do a kind of masterclass. So I love to share my art, especially in the online, living. So I'm
In presence.
in present. Yeah.
person.
So like
In person.
like a chef in the kitchen, and so in this way I can teach my way, but I don't do anymore the classic mosaic classes. I really love to work in master class, where I produce a work from zero to the end, and people can see how for example, I spread the cement, how I can smooth the cement, how I can cut my materials, and how I can represent my vision, and that I love to do it.
Actually, to see Luca while he's working is something special, because he works without any drawing underneath. I mean, he spread the cement with pigments, of course, and then he does mosaic directly from his idea. And so this is something very, very special and quite unique.
Yeah.
So if you is it possible to learn in my way, just watching me? But Ariana, she still teach the modern and the classic style and mosaics from our experience.
Yeah, teaching is something that is a part of our business. I mean, of Coco Mosaico. So in our studio, we run workshops more or less twice a month or once a month. I mean, the workshop intensive, where the people comes here for 1 week. It means that they stay with us 5 days, 8 hours a day, even more, honestly, because we have lunch in the middle, and sometimes we do aperitivo together, and so it's a sharing time. And of course it's in Ravenna, and so you need to come here, but sometimes rarely, because we have a family, we have 2 kids that they are not I mean, they are growing as well, because they are 11 and almost, and the oldest one is almost 14, so they are growing. And so rarely I go somewhere abroad to teach for sometimes for a week or something like this, because I really like to travel. But of course, for the moment, the family is first.
Well, and that's, I mean, that's what's so special about being there. You know, if people do have the opportunity to go there, it's such an immersive experience, because you are in Ravenna, you are studying with, you know, either you, Ariana, or, you know, your assistants who are as qualified. And when we were there, just to see the people that were coming in, that were mostly from the States, that come there for that experience. Like you said, it's really an all-inclusive experience. And if you can't go there and you do want to learn Ariana's direct method, that is what is traditionally taught at Coco Mosaico, then we have the online course here at Mosaic Arts Online. So you can learn while you're still staying home if you cannot get to Ravenna. So one person asked Luca, how do you work directly into your cement without it drying, since your pieces are so small and so specific? Like, how much cement can you smooth out at one time?
So the cement that I used is a Mapei product, and it's called Adesilex P10, and I mix it with water and latex adhesive, and that
yes, the latex.
Yes.
Yes.
So I can work on it for 5-6 hours. In the summer, it takes dry early, like 4 hours, and I have to work day by day or step by step. My cement area can be around 25 per 25 centimeters.
That centimeters is more or less.
Yeah, like that in 4 hours. Or also a big, huge area, but I don't complete all the area. I just work in a little size.
Yes, you have a lot of negative space, as we call it, becomes part of your story. So that, yeah, so right there you can see one of his, everything tells a story, as we know, and it would take, you know, till today and tomorrow for Luca to share what each story means.
I did this artwork just 3 days ago in Milano during a performance. And I spent 5 hours, no, less, 4 hours.
Wow.
From the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Someone just, Erica just sent into the chat, Luca, saying that she got into mosaic art because she saw you on something called the Dean and Nala. And so she said she never thought that mosaic art could be whimsical and fun. And so you have a fan who is now a mosaic artist because of you. And she said she cannot wait to get to Ravenna. So I think you will meet Erica one day. And I think this is going to be a good segue, but Luca, can you share real quick the blue? What material makes the blue background in that piece?
Okay, so I mixed the cement powder with pigment. This is just a blue pigment.
Powder pigment.
Yeah, it's in powder. And so
he mixes first when they are dry.
Yeah, when it's like, I don't know in the end how it will be the final result.
More or less,
More or less. But it's, yeah, I'm not so a technician, as a technic man. I love to follow the flow. So that blue, it's finally ends after the final drying. So I can I just saw this final result in the end, like almost one day after.
And can you, someone's asking for a little more of a close-up. Can you just push that piece a little closer to the camera and they could see a little bit more of it? And that way, oh, there you go. Oh, wow. Yeah, if you haven't studied Luca's work, you need to, because it is quite incredible how he can make expressions of faces with tiny little pieces of glass. And maybe, Luca, you can talk a little bit about the material choices, because you are not strictly a Italian smalti artist at all.
Right. So for this is tiles from Canada. This is stained glass. The air usually is made by Orsoni glass. Faces are made in marble. Also, hands are made in marble. And that the bookshelf are made in PVC. I call Forex. And there is some iron, and that's it.
Wow. And how did you get love and hate on the cups? Did you paint that on?
With a pen.
With the pen, exactly. Nothing too technical there. So yeah, I highly recommend Luca. The best way to see his work is on Instagram at his Luca Barberini page. He also has his Via Roma 136. Is that it, Luca?
Right.
136. Via Roma 136. And that's the address of Coco Mosaico. And you can see some of his windows, which is a whole series that he did that tells another amazing story. So as we are getting close to wrapping up our time together, it's time to announce a very special event. We are launching Arianna's Contemporary Direct Method course. And we filmed this back in September at Coco Mosaico when we filmed her direct Ravenna method. But the very special thing that happened at the end of the course is Jerry and I were gifted her piece. So this is the piece. My lighting is terrible, but I can't. How do I get it? Oh, so bad. You'll see it in there it is. A picture. But what Arianna is teaching in this course is pretty much threefold. You will learn very basic on Demento, which is very important to learn easy, get started with straight lines, but still make it look very interesting. She'll be teaching about gradation and just using a few colors to make that happen. And then the most special part of this course is something where she calls the self-leveling cement, which is what all the yellow is between these lines here. And these lines are made with pounded lead. So in the course, you will learn how to do all of these things. But what's really important that we wanted to share with all of you, since you've been here before we give you your bonus gift, is that we have come up with a few different options that kind of modify and make it easier to work in this method. And one of them is if you do not want to work with lead, which isn't very easy to access here in the States, we've come up with a new option. And this is a metal ribbon that's made of nickel. So you can easily find this on the PDF and easily purchase it, and it works exactly the same. It also comes in copper and comes in brass. And one of the important things that I like to do with a lot of courses here at Mosaic Arts Online and Create Arts Online is that if I feel like there's new materials we're introducing that, especially coming out of the States, because Ariana has different resources in Italy, is I like to make something. And this piece I made is not technically perfect by any means, but it shows you using the metal ribbon with the self-leveling cement, and it's tinted. So what we are doing is we are offering a other options of the metal. We are also going to be selling through Mosaic Arts Online smaller portions of the self-leveling cement, so people don't have to buy 50-pound bags. And we are showing you other options for the frame. So Ariana has her frames custom made there. And these frames are here in the States, and you can get them at art supply stores. And we also are have a link directly on the PDF to get them. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to email us or throw it in the chat. And without further ado, we are now launching Ariana's course and a very special $40 off this course until tomorrow at midnight with the code Contemporary40. So that's $40 off until Sunday at midnight using the code Contemporary40. So everyone can go jump on and use their code and enjoy learning this technique, which is so achievable and so gratifying and so different. And I really think once you learn Ariana's techniques, you'll definitely see where you can take it as your own creative, artistic ways. And is there anything else either of you would like to add to this time we've had together?
We are very happy, and we want to thank you because you were a lot following us in this interview. And thanks to Tami, thanks to Jerry, we have such a lovely memories when you were here.
Yes.
So lovely. We may be coming back very soon.
We are waiting. We are waiting for you.
Yes, Ravenna has become a second home or a third home. So that's very exciting for us. So yeah, is there any other questions? Nope. All right, you guys, I want to say thank you so much to everyone that joined us today and anyone that wasn't able to get on for us live. You all know where to find us here in our Mosaic Arts Online YouTube channel. Thank you, Ariana. Thank you, Luca. Thanks to everybody at Coco Mosaico. And get back to work. I see there's a lot to still cover on that substrate behind you. And we'll see you guys very soon. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.